If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. From the kids and the people who came from where I came from, they did not do Fire Island. Even for being LG, and that's it. And I'm saying to myself, it's like, are they even gonna get this? I was that first, being a woman, being mixed race, and also having good taste in music. From that first song to that last song, I'm taking you on a journey, we're going there together. And if I'm not gonna get off, you're not gonna get off. So that's how I do it.
This is Lina Bradford. In the 80s and 90s, New York City nightclubs provided a safe space for the queer and trans community. Not only a space to have fun, but a space to be authentic in the freest possible way. Amongst the sea of fabulous sequins, feathers, and glitter-coated attire was Lina Bradford, busy building a soundtrack of a city that never sleeps. Under the moniker Girlina, her extraordinary performances invigorated crowds and attracted other DJ legends like Frankie Knuckles, Levan, and Junior Vasquez, who later convinced Lina to begin her own DJing career on a dare. Now as DJ Lina, she's just finished a 10-year residency at the iconic Fire Island Pines in New York and continues to tour all over the US and Europe, creating spaces for others to explore their truest selves. With no end to the party in sight, Lina Bradford continues to make her mark on the world. I'm Javier Muñoz, and this isn't just our history. This is legendary.
Growing up in Manhattan back in the day was everything. It was basically like a walk-in museum. And also for acknowledgement, it was an encyclopedia. 54 and Garage and Saint and Loft and Danceteria and all these things. Each one of these places was this underground jungle of music and fashion, and it was a home for everyone. Whatever it was that they were trying to escape, they found it, and they had brothers and sisters that they would see every week or whatever night that they went out. Performing back in the day as Girlina was very easy because I had always been dancing. So when I had started working in the clubs, then later on performing, I felt like I had been always doing this my whole life. Now I was getting paid for it, and I was getting a whole different homage and visual that I wouldn't have never gotten as a quote-unquote professional dancer. It was that kind of feeling. It was amazing, and New York was the best that it could have possibly ever been for fashion, for music, and we were in a recession, which has always been a great time for New York back in the day. The underground had this beautiful wave of bringing you to all these other things because, again, like I said, everybody was there. Everybody was melting as one. It was art. I never thought of becoming a DJ. I just knew that I knew music inside out, being a dancer. And for me, getting on that dance floor is like everything for me. It's a very male-dominated industry. Brothers of mine who I was coming up in the clubs with, we're all up in the booth, and we started talking, and then Frankie's like, Lina, you would be an amazing DJ. I was like, what? I was like, please. And then went down the room like this. They're like, Lina, you would turn it out. It would be amazing for you. I was like, oh, well, okay, hold on, y'all. They're like, your birthday's coming up. Do it on your birthday. We dare you. I was like, oh, come on. I'm going to take a dare. I literally had one lesson. And I literally made it a tossed salad of just like all the different music that it is that I love. Like really, really fun stuff. So I just made it an eclectic tossed salad my first night DJing. And everybody was living, and it was really fun. And then after that, it was like, okay, we want you to do every Sunday. And then from there, it just started building and building and building. And then next thing I know, I'm like, seeing my brothers and sisters, in airports, and we're going to similar gigs. And I was like, holy shit, I'm actually a fucking DJ. What a beautiful morning. This is so special to have. This is my 10-year anniversary here on Fire Island, and it is always one of my favorite places. The relationships, the family that I've made out here, they're unprecedented. It's unlike any kind of relationship I've ever made with anyone else in my life. When Fire Island started, it was in 2005. Because, I had gone to Fire Island back in the day, but it was always a quick thing. And, I'd probably been going since the 70s, but it was never one of those things where it was consistent for me because it just didn't speak to me at the time. Because it was also very, very white. If there was ever any color, it was coming in and it was going out. I was that first, being a woman, being mixed race, and also having good taste in music. That was never something that Fire Island was ever known for. You know, and homage to all my brothers and sisters out there who played Fire Island, but it was a particular sound. So if you weren't into that sound, you did not see that music. And I'm saying from the kids and the people who came from where I came from, they did not do Fire Island because that music was not for them. It spoke to a demographic, so it wasn't broadened, even for being LG, and that's it. That island gave me so much more than I could have ever imagined. Relationships, most importantly, myself. I said to myself, I was like, you know what, and I'm very spiritual, I was like, there's a reason why this is coming to me. My first night, it was pretty crowded. And I'm saying to myself, I was like, are they even gonna get this? The following week, it was even bigger. And by the third week, there was a line all the way down the block. And I was like, whoa, these kids really are ready for it and they want it. By probably a month, the word got across the river, you know, and people are like, yo, Lina's doing a residency out on Fire Island. And then I just started seeing all this cocoa. It was full on a Benetton ad. And not just color, but age demographic too. Like, you know, and that's one thing that was amazing about the community is that, you know, I wasn't trying to push anyone out. I wanted everyone to come up and get schooled and to have a good time, because at the end of the day, the music that I play with lyrics and percussions and sounds makes people happy. That goes down in history. That's bigger than I could have ever imagined from a gig on a Saturday that became something so much more. And then on my 10-year anniversary, I was like, you know what? I think I'm done here. So now to see all the color that's going on over there is amazing. They might not have the music right, but at least they got color. I mean, you can't do everything. I've only ever felt like I'm more solidified and dipped in chocolate with where I am right now, and I feel like my momentum is higher than it ever is before. There's something so special about maturity that just teaches you, one, not to sweat the bullshit and not to look at the Joneses and try to keep up with them. You know what I mean? Like, I need to keep up and I need to stay up with what Lina is saying. I've always done things for the pureness and the rightness and the artistry of it, and also to learn from it. Not about the coin, not about the accolades, for me. And I think that that is my real New Yorker edge, is that I've always stayed 100 to myself, and I've never pimped myself out for a coin. Listen, at the end of the day, we all sit on the toilet and shit and pay bills, and you know what, maybe one day, those bills won't be so high, maybe one day they'll be low, but at the end of the day, you're doing it on your terms.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of Legendary. If you want more, check out the full Legendary playlist and be sure to subscribe to NowThis Entertainment. See you next time.